How about now? Oh, hello? Is that working now? It's working? It could have been my fault. It's possible. I don't really know exactly what happened, but it's possible that it was something to do with my microphone here. Like maybe the mute button was on? Hello? Yeah, I think it was that. So, whoops. Thanks for bearing with me there. I wish I could go back and delete the beginning of this for the replay, but no can do. I'll do it on YouTube, I guess. Okay, great. Yay. Hi, everybody. Yay for working audio. Thank you for letting me know it wasn't working. Technical glitches. So thank you. Yay. I want to give a little shout out as we start to this really cool Christmas present that I got from my mom, which is a garland of native to the US moths, mostly silk moths, plus one inchworm, aka geometrid moth up there, which is like super awesome. And I looked up the information for it. I don't know if this is backwards for you, but oh, it's not backwards for you. Great. Colorful moth garland, 100% recycled linen paper on moths on 5 feet of hemp cord by SarahDrawsThings.com. She's a local artist in the Philadelphia area. And I love her website and her model because she, one, gives back to the community to the Friends of John Hines, which is a national wildlife refuge in the Philadelphia area to support basically the animals and things that she's drawing. And also she tries to make her products as eco-friendly as possible. So check it out if you're looking for some fun nature garlands and stickers and things, including this really awesome moth garland that I love so much. She has a couple of other garlands too. Here, I'll hold this up in case anyone's interested. There's her website. She has a couple other garlands too of bats, of swallowtail butterflies, of butterflies native to Eastern USA, butterflies native to Western USA. Really cool stuff. And I want to get them all so I can hang them all up in the background. Okay. All right. So now that I can talk, hi everybody. Hello, Adopt a Dog as well. Oh yeah, you're back here. 2 different usernames. Hope you're well. And your puppies too. Okay, so yeah, context for today. Broadcasting from Michigan, nice and snowy outside, and I just moved into this cabin because Ramon, my husband's a graduate student and starting up the semester, and he's doing some research in this wildlife area. And so we're checking out this cabin, middle of winter, just expecting all the bugs to be dormant. But then we walked into this cabin, and there's so many ladybugs. So hopefully, hey Abel. So hopefully Frank is around or will pop up or see this. I'll definitely tag him after the fact at least, because I know he loves ladybugs or lady beetles. Specifically here we have the, oops, and they're starting to fly away. The, what's it called? The multi-colored Asian lady beetle. That's the official scientific name for it. And I have my camera set up so we can look at it up close using my macro lens. So let's share this window here. Haha. All right. Okay. So here is the bowl of the ladybugs that I collected from around the house. And if I hold this still, we should be able to see them really close. That's my camera. It'll do us the honor of focusing. And also, this is new to me, so I have to learn how to move my hands. There we go. Nice, cute little ladybug there. So, welcome everyone. This is one of those ladybugs that if you're in the USA, and maybe in Europe too, maybe other parts of the world as well, It's a little ladybug that wants to overwinter in your house. I'm going to see how close we can get for focusing. So I want you guys to have a really good view of it. I'm actually going to add wait one moment, I'm going to add a extension tube to my lens so we can get even closer of a look to the ladybugs. Because are they attracted to the bowl? I actually went around the house and collected them in this bowl, like picking cherries. I just went boop and kind of knocked them into the bowl so I could show them to you for this broadcast. Otherwise, I'd totally like run around the house and show you with, let me see if this is worth doing, but, all right, oh, it doesn't work so well. But right here in the corner of the cabinet in the kitchen, there's a huge cluster right up there of these ladybugs. So they are a species of ladybug that, one, is not native to the USA or Europe, but they have been brought into the USA and Europe across many times over the last 100 years to be used for pest control. However, at first, I think they didn't really establish, but then the first documented establishment of their populations was in 1988. And since then, you can really find them almost anywhere. So during this broadcast, we're going to talk about that. Also, if the background noises are too loud right now, let me know, and I'll noise suppress them, because I'm flipping my pages for my notes, and I can hear it. Okay. The voice, hello. Okay, so they're definitely flying out and trying to run away. Okay, so why are they getting inside? Great question. So Harmonia axyritis is the name, and let me do that switcheroo for the camera so you guys can get an even closer look at them. One moment. I'm putting this extension tube onto my macro lens so that we can get an even more magnified view. I can line it up the right way. There we go. All right, here we go. Ding, ding, ding. We have higher magnification. All right. Are we back? I know my other screen froze because I did an illegal thing and took off my lens while my camera was still running, but let's see if I need to refresh it. Oops. Okay, live view shoot. Take that away. Okay. Fuzzy Faced Dog says, all I have is a stuck house fly in here somewhere. Cheers! Sign of life. And sorry guys, I know that the screen is kind of dark, I think, but it's hard to get light when you're trying to like magnify. Okay, let me make this brighter and make this a little more shallow. Let's try that. All right, and this a little lower, I guess. Where's my cable? That's connecting my camera. Okay, and here's the bowl. Let's see how close we can get. Oops. Okay. Yay, little ladybug. So here's our little ladybug friend. And you can see his cute little feet, got those 6 legs that ladybugs have. It looks like it's tasting the side of the bowl. Yep, the voice is adding some information. Are you in Sweden, the voice? Yeah, so this is native from southern Siberia to southern China, and then from the Pacific coast on the eastern border to a place, the mountains that I'm not familiar with, but they're called the Altai Mountains in the west. But then since 1916, many biocontrol releases occurred in North America. Like I said earlier, finally they established in North America or were documented to have established populations self-perpetuating in 1988. It was probably only a matter of time. But they're found pretty much all across the U.S. except for Southwest USA and Montana and Wyoming, although that may have changed since the information that I collected here, which was published in 2003 by R. L. Koch. And that this species added to the 475 species. Focus again, please, camera. Thank you. They added to the 475 species of ladybugs already in North America. And one thing to note is that commonly we think of ladybugs as a beetle, which is red with black spots, but there's many variations of coccinellity. That's the beetle family. Looks like this one has a little fuzz on its mouth. There's a lot of variation. Like there are some that are black. There's some that are some other colors. The red and black spots do not define the ladybug family, but there's like 70 species that look like this typical red and black coloration way that we recognize commonly as a ladybug. So yeah, you can see its little feet, its little tarsal claws trying to grab onto the side of this bowl. You can kind of see at the top, in the frontmost area, you can, oh no, I lost focus for a moment. You can see the antenna too, moving around on either side of the head. That's full of very fine sensory receptors, allowing it to sense its world. Can more light get on her? Yeah, let me try to do that. I'm going to take the light away from me and put more light on the ladybug. All right. That's the tricky thing when I move around a lot, since I'm not at home base right now. It makes it more challenging to bring light with me and set up the studio. But hopefully does that work? Yeah, so this species also is one that migrates. It'll migrate, but also find spots to hunker down. Let me see if I can steady the surface. And there's another one too. Oops. It really takes a moment for me for the magnification to find the insect in the window Let's try that. Focus. One moment. All right. Let me try. Where's the focus for this? It's definitely hard when it's, oh, there we go. Okay, that's where the focus is. There's my hand. Hi, everybody. There's our ladybug. Let's get it in focus. There we go. It's a lot easier with my microscope. There it is. This is a different one. See its little antenna. You can kind of see the way its wings are tucked in the back there, but it looks like they might be a little broken, unfortunately. You can see it's trying to adjust and clean itself a bunch as well. Oh, the voice, hi. The voice is asking, how do you connect an extra camera? So I'm kind of working around right now because I have my screen shared. That's how I'm connecting the extra camera. I have my camera connected to my computer, and then I'm just doing share screen of the remote view. So that's what's going on here. Yeah. So some other things about these, they're very highly variable with their colors. With the color variation, they can be really pale yellowish to red. They have darker morphs too, but those are mostly seen in Asia. Oops. There you go, you can see a little bit of the hind, but let me try to get it a little more in focus for you all as well. I'm trying to up the depth of field. There, let's see how that is. Oh, that's a little, it's grainier, but the depth of field is stronger. There's a lot of trade-offs here. Okay. The morph might, what their end color looks like might, oh, you can really see the origami of the wings here. The poor ladybug though, for some reason, having a little bit of trouble with its wings. Yeah. Anyway, the color, their ending color may be influenced by diet and also by temperature. That's what researchers think. And one thing that I found really surprising when I was looking up information on this species is how they lay their eggs just take about 3 days to hatch. That's really fast. And then they'll spend about 4.5 days as a pupa. So they have a really rapid life cycle. But at the same time, the adults can also live, they can also live for up to 3 years. So it's super variable. Their life cycle can be just like 3 weeks to 3 years, depending on a lot of environmental factors. Here it is cleaning itself. See, bugs are very clean. People call them dirty, but they really take good care of themselves, performing their daily ablution rituals, and even from moment to moment. They have all these chemical receptors on their body, on their feet, that they need to keep unclogged so they can operate and sense the world around them. Thanks for the bomb award, Pablo, and the bursts. Hi, Peter. Hi, Pablo. How's it going? Evolution-wise or whatnot, why are they dome-shaped? Asks Fuzzy-Faced Dog. Hello. They are dome-shaped probably to help protect them from ants or other potential predators. They're very sleek. They have a very smooth exoskeleton, and that makes it harder to pick them up. Oh, you can see its eyes really well from this angle, which is nice. Let me turn the light down on it a little bit more and try to make it less fuzzy. I'm gonna see if I can move the light source closer so I can bump up the ISO to make it a little less grainy and a little more sharp. It's a balance between getting a depth of field that's sufficient, getting the aperture, getting the shutter speed appropriate, and oh, all right, it's on the go. I don't know if I can follow it and show you guys it at the same time. Okay. Sorry for the shakiness, but there's our little ladybug friend. Oh, and it tried to fly away. I might do it again in a moment. Oops. Off it goes. All right. All right, let me change the focus again. It was on manual, now it's going to be on auto. And I'm putting an upside down ladybug in the camera frame so I can talk a little bit more about their biology, and then I'm going to show you a wasp that's also trying to overwinter in this house. Focus, camera. Oops. Oh, other way. So here's another little ladybug. You can see when they are upside down how well they are able to tuck their legs in, which is important because if their legs are sticking out, it makes their legs a lot more vulnerable to being picked off and torn off by ants or other things. So that smooth, sleek body design is really helpful for surviving and not being picked on. So yeah, that dome shape, as I was saying a moment ago, really helps them with hunkering down. So if something comes to bother them or harass them, all their legs and things can be tucked under there, and that can help keep them safe. So, do their eyes move or they look around by moving their body? Great question. Yeah, oh, I'd say they move around, they look around by moving their body. And they can move their head around a bit and then just move their body around a bit. But their eyes, like their compound eyes, face several different directions too. So they can take in a decent amount of information at once. And you'll see a lot of variation in eyes from one insect to the next. Some insects can see nearly everywhere around them at the same time. So, oh yeah, I wanted to say too that they, if they have more food, they can develop faster, and adults will live on average from like 30 to 90 days. Of course, that changes when they're overwintering. They will be a little, let's see if I can turn this one around for you all. When they're overwintering, then they will be alive for the whole winter, so up to 3 years in some cases. In their native range, they migrate south. Here in the USA, they migrate south. I don't know if they do that in Europe too. They're also an invasive species in Europe. There are many things that contribute to their success as a species and their ability to populate foreign lands that are not outside of their native range. Some of that has to do with their ability to develop so fast, 3 days as an egg, 5 days as a pupa. What's more typical, I'd say, is like 2 weeks in both of those stages in the insect world, and sometimes longer. But then also they lay so many eggs. It's recorded that the females can lay like 3,800 eggs and about 25 eggs a day. Another study found that number to be actually lower at about 1,600 eggs for one female ladybug adult, or like 20 to 30 eggs a day. The voice is sharing that the seven-spotted ladybug is the most common of the approximately 60 species of ladybugs found here in Sweden. The size, color, and the number of dots vary. Yeah, I think this, if I remember correctly, the seven-spotted ladybug, I believe, is native to the USA. Is that true? You'd probably know that. Here's a nice thing to bring up, which is like a very confusing thing about ladybugs, since lady is in the name. And someone said, here Fuzzy Face Dog is sharing that, someone said most ladybugs are male. Is that true? And one interesting thing that I came across when I was gathering information for this broadcast is, well, one, most are not necessarily male, at least in this species. But in their native range, there's this bacteria or pathogen that affects the males and causes, I think it's the eggs to not be viable, which does cause a gender bias towards having more females. That doesn't exist in the areas outside of the native range, interestingly. And I'll share the link to this, my information source, so you guys can read it on your own if you want to learn more and dive in more too. Okay. So all the ladybugs at this point, I had like 20 in that bowl, and they've all wandered away. So for now, I'm going to bring out the next guest that we have mentioned in the title. Let me get it in focus. Here she is. Focus here, camera. Yeah. Focus here. Still a little out of focus. Let me get her head in focus. Fighting with my camera. Right here, camera. There we go. But also she's dark, so she's a little harder to light. But she's also bigger, so what I can do is change the depth of field so it's a little more shallow make her a bit brighter. I'm also going to cheat a little bit and bring. There we go. Okay. One moment. Okay. Here, I'll just, I can't post it in the chat, but it's a male-killing bacteria which affects some populations. Yeah, not Wolbachia, it's called Seroplasma. I'm just going to read this and I'll share this with you guys. The vertically transmitted bacterium causes female biased sex ratios by killing males early in embryogenesis, so it kills them in the egg. That also, like, they have interesting population dynamics in that there's cannibalism in this species of ladybug, and we're not looking at a ladybug anymore. So sorry, anybody who's confused, who's popping in right now, being like, ladybugs, that's not a ladybug. It's not a ladybug. Its head's not focused either. There we go. But yeah, this ladybug species, Harmonia axyritis, or the multicolored Asian lady beetle, also will also, like, if there's not enough food, they'll eat others of their species. They'll eat the eggs of their own species. Researchers have found that they do recognize their siblings, and they're less likely to eat their siblings, so that's nice. But it's a very interesting addition to the way that they function. Okay, and that they operate and how they survive and everything like that. Okay, so here's one of our wasp friends that we'll be talking about too. This one's a native species, unlike the ladybug we've been talking about. Oh, but before we move away from that ladybug, as I mentioned before, it was brought into the U.S. for biological control. It especially helps with pecan aphids. So if you like eating pecans, I just had cereal this morning that had pecans in it. It helps with that. It also helps with corn and soybeans and a whole bunch of other products like apples. At the same time, it does cause some problems too. Like, whoops, little friend fell down. It has here, let me just turn off screen sharing for a moment. So, then I'll switch back once we finish on the ladybug topic so things don't get too confusing. And so I can think about it and not think about holding our little wasp friend. The queen. Everyone bow to the queen. Or the foundress. She's going to be a foundress one day, hopefully. But yeah, so native invasive species or non-native species like this one, it's helpful for controlling aphids in the agricultural setting. At the same time, it's also caused problems in the agricultural area, in the agricultural industry, because the mass aggregations during winter have caused issues when it comes to packaging, for example, and preparing and processing grapes. And so you don't want these ladybugs to get into your wine because they're going to taint the flavor. They have toxins. They're aposematically colored, and they have toxins that that are filled with alkaloid secretion. They're filled with alkaloid secretions, and you don't want to taste that in your wine. So it does cause a problem. It's hard to get them out of the grapes when they cluster in there. And they'll also sometimes start nibbling on other crops. Like they've been found to be nibbling on apples, pears, and grapes, for example. So that's no good. They also potentially displace some of the native ladybugs and have also been seen nibbling and predating on monarch butterfly caterpillars and larvae. So keep an eye out if you are growing a pollinator garden and are looking to raise some monarch butterflies. Keep an eye out for those ladybugs because they might take a nibble of your monarchs. And also, while we think of aphids as being bad if you're a gardener, there are native aphids as well. And this species of ladybug does have a pretty big appetite and will, eat a lot of different things. So I actually saw one earlier today that was nibbling on a dead mosquito on the windowsill. I was very surprised and ran for my camera, but I didn't get back in time. Okay. The voice, going back to the seven-spotted ladybug, or lady beetle, the voice is adding in that. Wait, so where is it native? Oh, I guess it's native to Europe, but then introduced to the USA? Not sure. And the voice is also sharing that the ladybug was early associated with the Virgin Mary, who according to tradition had the keys to the kingdom of heaven, since 7 is a sacred number with, for example, the 7 virtues. The ladybug was the Virgin Mary's helper who took the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Wow, that's really cool. I have not heard that before. Thanks for sharing that. Very cool. I love hearing those stories and mixes of culture and religion and sex and like how they come into play in other parts of our lives like that. So thank you. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot going on with those ladybugs. They're pretty fascinating. One thing that was really interesting too is that the female ladybugs, when they're looking to lay their eggs somewhere, they assess the aphid colonies to be like, hey, is this like a good colony for my offspring? If so, they'll lay their eggs. But if it looks like it's an older colony, then they might skip it and go lay their eggs somewhere else. And then also, let me plug in my computer. And then also, the larvae of the ladybugs as well have this like, and I can post this really wonderful info-rich source as well in the chat so everyone can see. Oh, how do I see the chat again on? Let me see. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. I'm dropping a link in the chat for anyone who wants to dive in. And wow, this link is not a very, it's like a really, really long link. Let me see if I can get a shorter link that works too. All right, it's a super long link, so I apologize, but I'm going to post it for anyone who's interested. Does that work? Oh, it doesn't work. It didn't work. Darn. I'm just going to delete the comment. All right, if you're interested, shoot me an email, and I can send you this really nice article on the Asian lady beetle. Okay. Oh yeah, so the other insect I have here, I'll turn screen sharing back on again so we can take a nice close look at her, is the metric paper wasp. I don't know why it's called the metric paper wasp. I don't know why metric is in the name, really, but this one is a native. Let me start the screen share so I can show you guys her up close. Cool. So earlier today, when I was just sitting at the table doing some work, let's see if we can get her face. There she is. You can see her beautiful eyes. Hello, Foundress. So I was sitting at the table in here, and all of a sudden I saw this wasp crawling along the floor, and I was like, what? Where'd you come from? So insects have different strategies for surviving the winter, and one thing that wasps will do is find a place to hunker down, for the winter for diapause. That's basically insect hibernation. They just chill out literally until the spring when it gets warm out, they can fly around, found their new nests, and life is good. So, pardon me as I move. I'll try to keep her in focus. She's alive, and we want to get a lot of good magnification, so it's a challenge. Here, I'll try to look from a little farther away. There we go. You can, here, while she's here in focus, let me talk about how she looks. You can see her body parts. You can see those beautiful legs here. And you might be like, how is she not stinging you? And that's because she's just like has nothing to defend or really be afraid of. If I was about to squish her, then she'd probably be afraid and maybe sting me. But because I'm not posing a threat to her, and she has no offspring to defend or anything like that, like she is just walking around and I'm like a piece of furniture for her. Oops, let's get her back in focus. Oops, where is she? There we go. You can see her beautiful coloration, those stripes, the banding, the yellow, the wings all really tucked together in a nice, very sleek, cool way. So when spring comes around in like April or May, she'll fly out from wherever she is settled for the winter, which I guess she has to find. I don't know where she came from, or I don't know where to put her after this broadcast, but maybe there's like a garage or something in the area. I can take her to the garage. Oops, let's find her again. There she is. She's a foundress, so she will found a new nest. Here, I'm gonna switch the camera for a moment, so it'll be less zoomed in, but it'll be a lot easier to keep her in focus the whole entire time because she's alive and hard to keep in focus as she moves. We'll do one more close-up like this, and then we'll do a switch. Oh, I'm just gonna switch it. Okay. Taking off the extension tube. Okay, so here she is. A nice size. Oops, put her on my face. Oh no, she fell down. So one thing I will do, she's probably hungry. I'm gonna give her a little bit of water. Oh, this would be a good thing to do with the extreme macro setup. So let me put that back up. Because she's gonna stand still when I give her some food and water. She's gonna probably enjoy a little bit of simple sugars. I have some honey here to give her. And then after I give her some honey, or at the same time, I'll give her some water as well, which she could probably use because she's not really supposed to be walking around so much right now. She's using up energy. Okay, so I have this Great Lakes honey. Step 1, take out the honey. I'm going to take a little dab of honey and put it on my finger and offer it to her. So, I'm going to share the screen again. I have to... All right, there's the screen. And now I will offer her some honey. Here's some honey, honey. Oops, let's get that. And she is accepting the honey. Let's see if I can get a closer view. I'll see if I can get her on the same finger so it'll be easier to see and to wrangle. Focus. Wait, go back, camera. There we go. So here she is, enjoying her sweet treat. You can see those beautiful eyes. You can see her antenna reaching down to taste the treat. You can see that she doesn't need her mandibles. There's no chewing necessary. She's able to just like lap it up. So yummy. Nice little simple sugars of honey made by her cousins, the honeybees. Nice and simple sugar. If you ever find an insect that you want to kind of like take care of or nurse to health or something, offer them some water and some simple sugars in the form of an apple. It can be in the form of honey. It can be in the form of sugar, regular sugar. Yeah, apple, regular sugar. So it's funny. It looks like she's eating from her chin or something like that from the human standpoint. But this is just regular, tasty, tasty. And after she's done, I bet you she'll start cleaning herself. You can see on the top of her head, she has that little triangle formation, which are her ocelli. I'll add a little bit of water because that will help her access this food resource a bit more easily. There, add some water. Let's zoom in a little, see how much we can zoom in. She's so beautiful, isn't she? So sleek. What a beautiful animal. Beautiful design. You can see a bunch of little hairs at the right above her mandibles. Yeah. You can see her using her antenna to feel around for more. And when she touched the honey, she was like, oh, there it is. And she moved her mouth there to eat some more. Some free energy for you. There's another foundress as well that I found earlier. So I found two in this house. See if I can get the other one out too. Oops. Yeah, so though I definitely saw this species last year when I was here in Ann Arbor. And one thing that I found really interesting, I think you'll find this interesting, David Howden, is how they have a predator. They have a they'll be parasitized sometimes by a moth, by a pyralid moth, which sounds so backwards. Like usually it's the wasps and bees parasitizing the moths and butterflies, but there's this moth that parasitizes them. Very curious to learn more about that. It's also interesting to me how when they do start their nests in like May-ish, the workers don't really hatch out until July. So the workers are just around from July until like October. Not a very long time. I don't know the details, unfortunately. I'm gonna guess a brood parasite, which I guess isn't super unusual because there's also the death's head hawk moth, which parasitizes honeybees. So I guess it's not too unusual. Oops. All right, let's see if I can find the other foundress too. My hand might shake a little bit as I'm doing that though. Where is she? Oops. Sorry guys for the shakiness. Here she is. Here's the other one. So she's very she wants to get away, this other one. Let me see if she wants honey though. Do you want honey? Okay, we got two little wasps that want honey. Could be honey buddies. Here they are. It's a party. Lunchtime. Each got their own little honey pot. Don't know what they think of each other. I can't help but wonder if they might be related, but don't think there's any way to know that. Wow, they're sharing. Sharing is caring. They don't really mind each other, huh? I wonder if that's just because they have nothing to defend, or because they're in diapause mode, or what? JC, hello. Yes, we're live right now. Looking at some little wasp friends, native to North America. This one has a fuzz on its face, but you can see her beautiful eyes. I love insect eyes. I love the, whoops. I love that, like, the patterns that you see on their eyes. They're just so cool. And I'm feeding them some honey. I'm glad you agree that they're cool. Yeah, they're chill. Wasps have a bad reputation, but generally, they're pretty chill. These ones are... I'm so fascinated by the indents in eyes and the different shapes of insect eyes. Oops, sorry for that sound. I think it's from my phone being near my speaker. This one's cleaning itself now, remember? My prediction? I was like, they're going to eat, then they're going to clean themselves. This one's walking on top of the other one. That's trying to fly away. It is flying. I have a moth on the fly. It's flying away from here. It's like I got my energy, got my snack pack, I'm good to go. Here's a nice view of their legs. You can see the little segments and the little tarsal claws. You can see some spurs as well sticking out from the segment. Those are spurs. Beautiful, sleek creatures. Very sleek and slender. Oops. Sorry, let me get the focus back. Yeah. With powerful wings, those powerful wing muscles, those thoraxes full of muscle for flight. Oops. Nazim, hello. One moment, let me move. She's stretching her wings too. Let me see if I can get some more water for her. She might like some water. You want some water? She did want some more water, I think. She's drinking the water. Some sugar, some water, good to go. Did they see in a matrix kind of pixelated view? I saw an insect view on David Attenborough. Well, then you probably know from that how it is. Different. I think it's different for different insects, but they have all these, their eyes are compound eyes made of a bunch of little individual cells called ommatidia, and their brain just puts it all together to make a bigger view, which probably varies from one insect to the next based on how important eyesight is to them. So eyesight's pretty important for insects that fly. So they don't bump into things, so they see things that are coming towards them, things like that. For ones that are in the ground, it might be less important, and you'll see lots of differences in insect eyes from one insect to the next. Nazim, I'm sorry you're stuck in Istanbul, and I hope you're doing well. Are you experiencing symptoms, or are you asymptomatic, or what? That's so tickly. Very tickly feelings from the wasp. I just gave some more water. Because that's a problem of winter, is water is locked up in ice form. There's a lot of similarities between deserts and winter. Winter is like a desert. So dry. That's why my hair is so static electricity-ish. Because it's so dry. So definitely offering her some water as well. Do they communicate with their antennae? Yeah. Also, though, these wasps, they do have good vision, and they do, some wasps can recognize others based on how they look. Like they have different markings on their face and can recognize their friends, just like we humans can. It's pretty remarkable. There's a lab at the University of Michigan that studies that. Is that fella just comfortable on your finger because it's food driven? So I was able to hold her on my finger even before food was involved, because she's not, she's in a very, she's trying to overwinter right now. She's not trying to defend young or, looks like she's probably going to try to fly away. Let's see. I'm going to zoom out a bit. There we go. Thanks, Nazim. Yeah, so most of the time wasps are aggressive because they're about to be crushed, so they're like, stop stepping on me, and they sting to get your attention, so you stop stepping on them or crushing them. Or it's because they're defending their young. There's some cases where the reason is unknown, but generally there's a reason behind it. They don't want to sting you. Stinging and injecting venom is an energy cost. It costs them energy to make that venom, so it's not like they're going out of their way to sting a person. There's nothing that they gain from that in a regular interaction. It's different from mosquitoes, which do gain something that they need, which is blood, which has stuff they need for their eggs. But with wasps, there's nothing, they don't get anything out of randomly stinging somebody. So there's usually a reason for it. Oh, sorry, let me get her in focus again. There she is. She still wants some food. I think I need to get her some more honey. Some more honey on the way, my honey. There we go. She is hungry. Oh, maybe not. I think she's just trying to figure out what to do next. Okay. How long is the lifespan of a wasp? About a year. But it might vary from one species to the next. And if it's a worker, maybe even shorter, just for the summer season, because only the queens and foundresses are the ones that overwinter, and then they found the nest in the spring. Let me see, I think I missed a couple of questions. Oh, they'll also communicate with chemicals. Chemical communication. Oh no, thank you for letting me know. YouTube shows the wasp screen just fine, but Haps chops off the top of the screen, so I can't see the wasp too well. Can you take a picture of that so I can send it to the Haps team? Because that's really helpful to know. And I wonder if there's a way I can switch it so that the screen at the top is at the bottom? Because then I could, that's the priority for me. Like I wish that, like if I could choose, oh, you know what, okay, I know what to do. I'm going to take my face away from it completely too. All right, bye everybody. We are going to just look at the wasp and not look at me. Ready? Here we go. Oh, I think I have to exit something else first. One moment. All right. So you have to exit the other form that it was in. And now I'll try. Haha, how about that? It's a little pixely, I think. Is it pixelated coming through? It could be my internet. Oh, it looks a little pixely. Oh, Nazim, I see that you asked earlier, have we ever been able to figure out if the communicating and interpreting, oh sorry. Have we ever been able to find out if they communicate and interpret what they might be indicating to each other? Yes, I think there is work that's done on that. I don't have details of that off the top of my head, but like I mentioned earlier, there's a lab, the Tibbetts lab at University of Michigan, that studies their ability to recognize each other. And there have been studies on their pheromones and different things like that. But of course, there's a lot to learn too. It's definitely a fascinating thing learning about the way that animals talk. Look, she's cleaning herself now. But is it pixely for you all too, unfortunately? It looks like it is based on the way it looks on my phone. And it could be my internet, like I said. Oh, maybe it's clear now. Did it clear up? I think it cleared up. Just go live on YouTube. Yeah, it's definitely harder to do these broadcasts in portrait mode. They're definitely much more comfortable in landscape mode. Better now. Oh, good. Oh, thank you. I'll send it to the team. Yeah. Yay, it's clear now. Yeah, so she's doing a really good job of cleaning herself. So anybody who hears someone talking about insects being dirty, send them this picture. I like to joke about that a lot. I mean, they land on all sorts of things. So insects can pick up germs as they land on different things, and they're opportunistic. So if you leave some food out for a day or two, they're going to come over and investigate it, and there'll probably be some germs on there that are not good for people. So you do want to be careful if an insect lands on your food. But 5-second rule, I'd say. Yeah, she is. I'm glad you see how sweet she is too, JC. Yeah. I am broadcasting over to Twitch also, Nazim. I just kind of really want Haps to get landscape again, because it's really hard to show these on portrait mode, because insects are really definitely more landscape oriented, I'd say. Their long, slender bodies. So I wonder what she wants to do now. I don't know. I guess am I viewing anthropomorphically? No, I think that, are you asking that because you're saying how oh look, she's carrying the honey in her mouth. Oh, or she was chewing it maybe. Not sure. Are you saying that because of it being a portrait mode, which is human bias, or because of calling her sweet? Because I think that there's definitely hesitation when it comes to scientists and animal people with anthropomorphizing animals, but we're all animals, and we do have a lot of similarities across different species and taxa and branches of the tree of life. But we have a lot of similarities. Like, we do all have emotions. It's just, you still have to be careful because you don't always know why we all have different needs, all the different animals. And so if you don't know, so that's where the tricky thing is. Like, some things we know and have figured out when it comes to why they're behaving a certain way, but there's a lot to still learn, and you have to be careful that you don't misinterpret or misrepresent the other species and other animals. So, but definitely, I think that they don't get enough credit for the similarities. So they are sweet. Yeah. Oh, and that's a good point, because we are viewing sweet from our own perspective. But at the same time, like they are generally sweet. If you describe the way that they behave based on the way that like what we judge as sweet for humans, except that sometimes they will cannibalize their eggs. But there's probably a reason for that. And in the end, everything's just trying to survive. But they do take very good care of their offspring in general, except for when dire times hit, dire situations. Okay. Oh, thanks. Yeah, my friend Sam. Yeah, she's an amazing vocalist. And if if we were in the same place long term, I would totally have her on the bug scope like every other week to sing and also to look at bugs with me because I have a lot of fun with her. Yeah, we're friends for over 20 years. Okay, she's starting to move a lot, which is making it harder for me to keep her in focus. Does she think she's a honeybee? Because she's eating honey. Yeah, I wonder if she's ever tasted honey before. I don't know. Oh, she's so pretty. I love bugs, you guys. They're just such sleek and very, oops, sorry, let me get this back in focus. Just really cool animals, these little tiny mini animals that do all these specialized, amazing things in our world. All right, good night, Nazim. Take care. Hope that you get back on track and to where you need and want to be soon. I think I'm going to wrap up the broadcast as well. Looks like she's cleaning her abdomen right now. You can see all her legs in the back moving around a bunch. Probably flicking at hairs. Here she's cleaning her feet off. You can see that little fuzz. She's probably trying to clean off that fuzz. Might be a little bit hard with the honey. I'll give her a little bit of water in case that helps. There's some water. Maybe disruptive, maybe helpful. Not sure. Zoom in a little bit. You can see how my hands are dry from the winter. I need to give her a napkin. How do you give a wasp a napkin? The big question. To get that fuzz away. I do have forceps around here somewhere. Where are they? I don't know where I put them. I could use to take them off. Oh, she got it off. Okay, good job. She is self-sufficient. Oh, good. Cheers, Nazim. A little dose of animals and nature. Cool. All right, I'm going to switch now to say goodbye to you guys. Stop the screen sharing. Once again, this is Polistes metricus, the metric paper wasp, native to North America. And she is overwintering right now, but this is I have to find a spot for her to hunker down for the winter after this broadcast because she came out. I don't know why she came out she came out probably because she found herself in a house for her overwintering. Let's see how much we can zoom in before we go. Look how golden she is. So golden. Oh, so fun to watch. Cleaning the antenna, cleaning her feet. She's cleaning her whole body right now. You know, it's just like a cat. A cat eats a tasty meal and then they start licking themselves or cleaning themselves for different reasons, I think, than the wasp, but it's still interesting. Do people clean themselves after they eat? I don't really think so. Ramon, why do cats lick themselves after they eat?
I have no idea.
Okay. Isn't it sometimes to like get the scent on their body of what they ate, or no?
I was like, maybe they're cleaning all the stuff off them. I don't know.
Okay. Licking her chops. Yep. Hi, David. How's it going? We're looking at a native North American wasp that should be dormant and overwintering, but she's up past her bedtime, up past her seasonal time. So I gave her some honey and some water, and then I'll see if I can find a spot for her to tuck away for the rest of winter. Yeah. Um, yeah, she's chill though. If yeah. Maybe one day you'll hold a wasp, David. You got stung by a wasp when you were 5. No. Do you know why? Were you close to the nest or something? We'll zoom in even more. Zoom in to the max while we can because she's so still, which makes it very much easier for us to zoom in. Oops. There we go. You can see how like people have gotten inspiration for making alien mouths from bugs. All those random like mouth antennae basically that come out to help them lap up their food. There's the mandibles, those hard things, and then all these like other like palps and things like that is what we call them. So golden. Clean, clean, clean. This is doing the dishes after eating. The wasp version of doing the dishes. Clean up your own body. Oh no, David, your curious self picked up the wasp by the wings. So it makes sense you got stung. I bet you didn't ever do that again, and this thing worked. Sorry, I hope it wasn't too traumatizing for you as a kid to have that experience. Oh, let me get her back in focus. There we are. Clean, clean, clean. I wonder how long it takes, how long is typical for the cleaning. Woo, celebration. Yeah, she just had a feast, a winter feast. Happy New Year, little wasp. Look at those eyes, beautiful eyes. I'm gonna go down her body, and there's where her wings connect to her body. To do head, here's the head, shoulders, there are the knees, and where are the toes? Toes! Insect toe on my hand. JC's asking, how aware of you is the wasp, and why does she trust me? Great question. I don't really know how aware of me she is. I'm guessing maybe she thinks I'm like a piece of furniture, perhaps, or just part of the landscape. I think that maybe she's used to me at this point. I wonder if she's able to like, if she senses my my the chemicals that are on my hand, and if because she's been around me a bunch, like at this point she's just like used to it, and that's giving her some calm about this huge animal that she's on top of. Yeah, it's a good question. And I'm not like squishing her or like squeezing her or anything like that, so she's not recognizing danger. There's no sudden movement coming towards her, I guess, too, is another one. So those are my guesses. That's sticky honey. Lots of cleaning. Yeah. I'll zoom out a little bit because it's tricky with the depth of field when you're this close, but it is really fun to see the level of detail possible at that magnitude, at that magnification level. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to sign off now though, so let me see if I can zoom out. Put her down over here. Can I say hello to you guys with this camera? I think I'm going to be way too close. Oh, there's my chin. Yeah, I can't say hello. Oh, I know why too, because I'm just going to switch to my other camera. Whoops. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Hello. So, goodbye everyone. Take care. Surely the most fascinating part of existing is the perception. Yes, lots of things to perceive. So yeah, here's our wasp friend, not under the macro lens, so you can see more of a sense of her size. And I'm not sure where I'll put her now, but I'll see if I can help her find a nice spot to finish off her winter diapause so she can successfully fly off when spring comes around and start her own family in May. Oh, Frank, hello! We were looking at ladybugs up close earlier, so I was thinking of you. All right. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for the heart bomb, David, and take care. Cheers.